Hey guys. So, obviously, this is the first music video that you guys have received from me in a little while. Um, and it was one that I said that I was going to do, regardless of what was going on, because uh, obviously it's the 1st of November, and last year on the 1st of November, I put up a video called I Remember. Now, I don't know whether or not I'm going to end up being as intense as I was in the last video last year, mainly because of the fact that it was the first time that I'd sort of told you guys about it, what the whole point of the video was, about who my friend Cameron was, and why I needed to make the video, and what November the 1st means to me. It's one of those things where I don't put it out of my mind. But as the time goes on, the pain exists, but it sits differently. And I think that's something that all of us experience with the people that we care about that we lose. And it doesn't make it any less valid. You know, there are people that still hold memoriams for friends 20, 30 years after they're gone. Crying out loud, it's almost 10 years for me. Cameron Vella was somebody that I met during a very tumultuous time in my life. And we didn't spend a lot of time together, but the time that we did spend together was valuable. It was precious to me. And I originally hoped that come March or April or whenever it was going to be the following year in 2013, that we would see each other again. But unfortunately, that wasn't going to be the case. A week after leaving Sydney, having already going through some manic episodes and some serious bouts of depression in the week or two prior to him leaving Sydney and going back to Rockhampton, where he was originally from, it was only about a week later that he decided that he could not stick around anymore. And I received that news from people that I didn't particularly want to hear from at the time. And so I was ignoring their calls. It wasn't until they ended up calling me through a different number and I ended up actually having to listen to what they had to say that I understood. Finding out that somebody has taken their own life, in my experience, it was cold shock. It was numbing to a point that I couldn't have even begun to fathom at the time. They told me Cameron was gone. I sat there and I was told about the memorial service that we were going to have in a couple of days on the weekend. And I took it all in. And the first thing that I did when I got off the phone was I cursed at him. I called him a bastard. I was angry. I was upset. I was in pain. He was supposed to come back. He was supposed to come back to Sydney, and he didn't. My memories of that time period are a little bit shaky, as a lot of things are these days. But I'm pretty sure that in the conversations that were had prior to him leaving, that there was almost a promise there that he was coming back to have his first Sydney Mardi Gras, and so we were going to, catch up and have a good time and enjoy ourselves. And he broke that promise. I forgave him for it pretty quickly, because I understood that given the circumstances, it was a promise that couldn't really be kept, but it didn't make it any less painful. I still stand by the idea of dropping him at the airport and I'm currently going through enough things right now where shoulda, coulda, wouldas, if I could go back in time, this is what I would do differently, sort of stuff. I'm trying to learn how not to dwell on that sort of thing with other aspects of my life. But this one is still one that it hurts me because it was such a simple gesture. Whether or not it would have had some grand butterfly effect to it or not is irrelevant, but it would have been something for me. But I took him to that airport, and I said that I would see him later. And he grabbed his bags and he left. If I had the chance to do it again, I would have got out of that car and given him the biggest hug that he deserved. Because when Cameron hugged you, you felt it. It's so deep within yourself. You couldn't help but feel warm inside. He radiated so much warmth and love in those simple interactions. Even if he still took his life afterwards. If I'd ended up with that hug, just that one thing, maybe it would have been just a little bit more bearable. Just to exchange that last piece of love to somebody that I cared about and to feel it in return. But I didn't get that goodbye. I didn't get that pre-event closure. I didn't get that. And there's nothing that can be done about it. The reason why I do these videos on the 1st of November starting from last year is to let you guys know that it's okay. And that you will be okay. And even if there are people that you have lost, no matter the circumstances, be it through natural causes, through accidents, through suicide, whatever it is, if they still exist with you, then they still exist. It's the only way that these people can live on in this world that they don't have a physical presence in anymore. So this is why See Vela Day is a thing. Hashtag See Vela, and then the year, in this case. Hashtag See Vela Day 2021. If I could only ask that for those of you that watch this video on November 1st, share it around, leave the hashtag #CValidate and put I remember and tell me about somebody that you care about somebody that you miss that is no longer with us. Again, it doesn't matter how they left you. It just matters that they existed in your life at all. It's the reason why this song, One More Light from Linkin Park, it's why it makes so much sense to do it as like a beacon to all of you who have some sort of anniversary day. November the 1st is mine, and if I could make it a public thing that could be acknowledged anywhere and everywhere, I would, because there's very few times where these sorts of things are taken seriously and are given the due credit. It doesn't have to be some ribbon day or whatever. Like, it doesn't have to be that. It doesn't have to be like mental health day, like are you okay days and stuff like that. Like, those things are important, but I don't know whether or not they mean anything to a lot of people. They're just another day. But at the very least, I wouldn't mind if this day was just a private day for individuals to feel what they need to feel, to remember what they need to remember, to honor who they need to honor. You guys are valid. Your feelings are valid, your emotions are valid, your losses, no matter how they come, your grief over those losses are valid. I said it last year. It doesn't matter if I ever meet you. It doesn't matter if I ever have a conversation with you. I would like to, if you're so inclined. But I may never meet you, shake your hand, hug you, whatever it is. But just know that by watching this and being involved in the channel, or, just sharing, doing whatever it is that puts me in front of you, just know that you are loved. I love you no matter what, because you exist and you're here, and you have the ability to remind people and let people know about these amazing people that they never got to meet, that were important to you. Maybe at some point in the near future, I'll give you guys a bit more of an update on things that are happening with me personally, but I wasn't going to dump you guys with a whole bunch of updates on my life in a video that's dedicated to other people. Just know that I'm okay. I'm getting through the stuff that I need to. But I promised myself in the vlog that I made, the channel update that I made, and just privately to myself, that if there was only one other video that needed to come out this year, it would be this one. I couldn't not do it. So, yeah. Leave comments below. Tell me about the people that you miss. About something. Just say, I remember. And tell me about the person. You don't have to name them. You can just tell me about this person that you miss. If you want to add how they left, by all means, leave it. But that's not the important part. The important part is the spot where they still exist in your mind. Share it on social media, on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Like, there's going to be versions of this everywhere for people to find. But share it around, and when you do, put hashtag CVella Day 2021. I'll just put it here for clarity, but put it there. Go hashtag CVella Day 2021. I remember ... whoever it is. I'll look them up. I'll look up your stories. I will share in that memory with you. Because if anybody, at the very least, even if nobody else reacts, I'll be there to acknowledge it. Because that's what this is all about. It's a much shorter video than my last one when I did this, but I think I've got all that I need to say out of the way. As long as you remember they're never gone. That's all that matters.
Should have stayed. Were there signs I ignored? Can I help you not to hurt anymore? We saw brilliance when the world was asleep. There are things that we can have but can't keep. If they say, who cares if one more light goes out in a sky of a million stars? It flickers, flickers. Who cares when someone's time runs out? If a moment is all we are, or quicker, quicker. Who cares if one more light goes out? Well, I do. The reminders pull the floor from your feet. In the kitchen, one more chair than you need. Oh, and you're angry, and you should be. It's not fair. Just 'cause you can't see it doesn't mean it isn't there. If they say, who cares if one more light goes out in the sky of a million stars? It flickers, flickers. Who cares when someone's time runs out? If a moment is all we are, or quicker, quicker. Who cares if one more light goes out? Well, I do. Who cares if one more light goes out in the sky of a million stars? It flickers, flickers. Who cares when someone's time runs out? If a moment is all we are, or quicker, quicker. Who cares if one more light goes out? do.